Hi everybody, it's Casey Williams. The Ford Maverick has become one of my favorite little pickup trucks, and judging by its strong sales, it's become the favorite of a lot of other people too. It's just the right size vehicle to have in an urban environment, to do a little mulch, bring some bushes home, and still have a vehicle that gets really good gas mileage, especially in base hybrid form, but a vehicle that can just take you to work every single day and just be a good little lifestyle vehicle. But it's not been terribly exciting until now. The vehicle we have this week is a 2023 Ford Maverick Tremor Edition. Let's have a look at it. If we're being completely honest, the Maverick is more of a compact crossover with a bed, as it shares architecture with the Ford Bronco Sport and the Ford Escape, but you'd never be able to tell that from the outside. I really like the front. I like some of the upgrades and the little tweaks they made for the Tremor Edition, like the copper trim here in the grille, the black oval. I think all looks really good. I also like the little hood decals as part of the package. And I even like this color. I think it looks really good too. LED headlamps. So it really has a family resemblance to the other Ford trucks, the Ranger and the F-150 especially. If you come around the side, you kind of see that too. You got the 17-inch wheels. And again, the Tremor Edition, you have a little beefier off-road tires. I like the gray with the copper accent on the wheels too. Looks good. The XLT trim here with copper. But you can tell, it's really not that big of a truck. A lot of it really is cab. It's a nice roomy vehicle for 4 to 5 people inside of it. And one of the things you'll really notice when you come to the back that really differentiates this from most other pickup trucks is there's no separation for the bed. It's because it's unibody, so it's one solid piece. And I think that's really nice. Again, you're not going to be hauling heavy loads with this, so you don't really need to have the bed that's separate and a separate frame to be able to handle that load. But what you'll notice on the road with that is it just feels very solid, it's very quiet, just very refined, and just a really different experience than probably what you've had in other pickup trucks. Come around the back, bed's not huge, but it's big enough to, again, haul some mulch, haul some bushes home, haul some bicycles and some other toys. And this one has the spray-in bed liner, so you can go ahead and just toss everything in there, sweep it out when you're done, and it'll work just fine. If you look at the spec sheet, the interior of the Maverick Tremor really is pretty basic, but it just doesn't feel basic. It's because the designers have done a really good job of using materials and different textures to just really bring up the feeling of this vehicle and make it feel a lot more expensive than it actually is. And it really starts with just the texture here on the dash. And it's kind of this bluish gray color, then it's gray, and you kind of have this diamond pattern that's all embossed in it. And then the seats, they're cloth seats, but they're two-tone, they're gray, you got the copper stitching. I think just, again, they're very supportive and just looks really nice. So again, there's not expensive materials in this vehicle, but the appearance and the feel of it is just far more sophisticated than you would think. In the center, nice big touchscreen, like this a lot, proper volume and tuning. You got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, easy connect to everything. And again, just fits right in the dash, looks nice. Down below, automatic climate control in this model. The rotary gear selector, I think works really well. Nice deep cup holders, plenty of cubbies for your phones, console storage. And again, it's just a rubber steering wheel. It's not leather wrapped, but it doesn't need to be. It fits your hand nice. It's going to be really durable. It's easy to wash out if you have a day of adventure. I think it works fine. There's a lot of safety gear. Again, you're probably got some kids in this car, or you and your spouse out on the road driving quite a bit. So it's full gear, full safety gear. You got automatic emergency braking, lane keep assist, blind spot warning, and rear cross path detection. Really the basics to keep you safe out on the road. The Maverick has become one of my favorite pickup trucks to drive too. And it's really because it's the right size. It's not so long you can't parallel park it in the city or get in and out of a parking garage or in and out of your urban driveway. But it's big enough that you don't feel like you're overwhelmed on the highway either. It really is a nice sized truck. And being crossover based, the steering feels tight, the suspension feels tight, it feels almost sporty. And when you go over bumps, it just feels really solid. It's like you can just tell the body is one big solid hunk. There's no separate bed, there's no squeaking and creaking. It just really works. I like that a lot. And even with the Tremor package, and those big tires out there kind of help absorb some of that road rough, so it has a little bit of a softer ride to it. But even then, it doesn't ride too bad, it doesn't feel too top heavy. And it does have a 1-inch lift. So this has 9.4 inches of ground clearance. In case you want to do some pretty reasonable off-roading, you can do that in this truck. Underneath the hood, this one has the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, delivers 250 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. And a vehicle this size, I think that's plenty. This does have all-wheel drive. The base Maverick is a hybrid, so this is not a hybrid. Fuel economy is not quite as good as you expect in a hybrid, of course. And with the Tremor package and the big tires and the lift, it's reduced a little bit too. So 20 miles per gallon in the city, 24 on the highway is what you're looking at for fuel economy. But it's pretty quick. I've seen some stories where they say it's just not that fast. It does 0 to 60 in 6 seconds. I mean, 25, 30 years ago, that was top-end sports car kind of performance. So This is not a slow truck. One of the other things that's different with the Tremor than some of the other Mavericks with the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder is this only has 2,000 pounds towing capacity. This doesn't have the trailering package on it, so it doesn't have the 4,000 pounds you can get in some of the other Mavericks. But again, I think you're buying this not to hook onto a 30-foot RV. You're doing this just to do some yard work and have a little dirty space in the back that's practical. And it will haul up to 1,200 pounds of payload. So it is a very useful truck for anything you're going to want to use, in a reasonable urban environment. So here's the best part of the Maverick and the Maverick Tremor. The Maverick starts under $23,000, and that's the hybrid steel wheels, very basic truck. Still looks nice. But the Tremor, with everything on it, is still a very affordable $32,990. And I think if you get in this vehicle and drive it, you'll think it's worth many thousands of dollars more than that. Well, next week we'll have another fun car. Until then, storm forward.